Hey, how about them tops, son?
All day, SEC boys. SEC, they supposed to be SEC. Crazy all day, baby.
You're listening to the RedOUT Podcast.
So like a lot of you, I get those annoying phone calls, the Medicare, Medicaid. But the real wake-up call for me was when I ordered 2 computers from Amazon. But I didn't order 2 computers from Amazon, you say. Oh, somebody else did. Yeah, that was a close call for me. I realized that my personal information was out there, and I was vulnerable. But how are so many people able to get a hold of my information? One reason might be irresponsible companies. For example, AT&T revealed that over 73 million customer records, both former and existing, were exposed on the dark web. They recommended those affected use strong passwords, monitor account activity, and consider credit freezes or fraud alerts from credit bureaus. That's a lot of work for us to do because one company couldn't keep their data safe. This is why I use Aura, the sponsor of today's video. Aura does all of this for me, and best of all, it's all in one app. If my info was compromised in the AT&T data breach, I wouldn't worry because Aura would already be protecting me. Don't sacrifice your privacy because it's a chore to keep up with it. Aura makes it easy. Aura is always on, doing the hard work of keeping my information safe. I value my privacy, and so should you. You guys should check out Aura. You can go to aura.com/RedOut, or that link is in the description below to start your free trial. Thanks to Aura for sponsoring today's video. And let's get back to that Hilltopper action. Welcome into another RedOUT Podcast. My name is Devin. Let me get my timer going so I've got the time straight. Thank you all for joining us again. We're doing a little earlier episode in the week due to the Thursday game. Matt was able to get his schedule cleared up, and I got mine cleared up. So let's talk some football. How about the craziness this past weekend, Matt?
Dude, that was insane. I can't believe that. Alabama and Vandy, but then all the other ones too. There was a whole bunch of them. It's insane.
Well, my thing is, I was wondering about. I know it's the top, the big upset. I think that's the craziest upset. Like you said, I think they were 0-60 to Power 5
against
teams.
Top five
teams. If hypothetically, if Vandy had lost to Alabama and Arkansas beat Tennessee, would that have been a major upset? It wouldn't have been to the scale, but it would have been pretty crazy that Arkansas beat Tennessee.
Yeah, it was much more reasonable that they could.
Yeah.
I hate that it comes to the success of Bobby Petrino. But anyway, but
your boy.
It was still crazy. Like UT has looked like arguably maybe the best offensive and defensive combination in the country. There might be some other issues and whatever, but they have 2 really solid units, presumably. And now all that's come into question. They blew it.
And then of course, like we were talking right before the show started, Washington upset. What was that?
Michigan.
And then Missouri got upset. And who was that one?
Texas A&M.
Do what?
Texas A&M.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you said that. Texas A&M. And then Minnesota, they won as well.
Yeah, they beat USC.
Oh, that's right.
In those quote-unquote Big Ten matchups there.
Yeah, that's after my bedtime. I'm an old man. I go to bed early. I don't do that kind of stuff anymore. I used to stay up till 11 like a crazy kid.
Oh, Devin.
Oh, shoot, it's already 5 o'clock. I'm getting ready for bed.
Gotta put on my diabetic shoes.
But I think the funny thing is, talking about Vandy, Alabama, which the fans rushed the field, the 15 of them for Vandy. They rushed the field. And then they took the score. They took the field goals down and packed them 3 miles by a police escort to the river and threw them in. That's the funniest thing for me. They even had a police escort like the whole way down there. The cops were like behind them to make sure they were.
Can you imagine being at like Tootsie's or something on Broadway, and there's a damn like goalpost just waltzing down Broadway? with some
Oh my gosh.
idiot looking like preppy frat boys.
I love the fact that like I saw I think it was a tweet of this guy. He's like, this is a crazy world we live in. It's some dude in like a blue shirt like I've got on, turns around and looks at an Alabama fan and goes, scoreboard, scoreboard. Like,
Oh, man.
dude. But
Dude,
like,
how about Pavia from New Mexico State? The transfer into Vandy,
yes,
and then he does
yes.
this. Like, I never would have expected him to be that good at Vandy. I mean, he's turned around the program basically by himself.
Yes. Well, him and the
Him
head
and the
football
coach.
coach went with him too. Yeah.
All right, he's got his coach with him, so they're basically running their offense together.
Yeah.
But regardless, you don't expect. He's small too. He's like 5'10" or something, 5'11".
Yeah.
He's not a big guy, but I mean, he tore us up. But I didn't think that he would translate that well.
Well, how about the guy? Let's see, the Alabama player, number 13 on the defense. How about that kid? Did you see it? Did you see the end of the game? He was having like the biggest temper tantrum in the world. Let me see if I can find him. Oh, here we go, roster. That's what I'm looking for. But this dude, he like threw his mouthpiece at one point. He's like having this hissy fit, and I'm just like, oh. I was like, come on, man. You know, I know you play for Alabama, and I know you're upset, but at the same point, just chill out. Let's see. There he is. Malachi Moore. He's a DB. He plays for. He's from Alabama. Plays for Alabama. He's actually a senior, and he's a captain on the team. I think he shoved New Mexico State's transfer Vanderbilt's current quarterback in the ground. He had run of like the last play of the game. Have you not seen this?
I didn't see. I saw the goalpost. Saw all the upsets. I didn't see anything about that.
Yeah, he was. I don't know if they're going to do it. I actually know for a fact I saw online where the coach sent somebody in to take him out, and he waved them off, and basically, and the coach walked out there and then had to walk back without him coming out of the game. And I'm like, okay, I guess he just told you to mind your business. He's taking care of it. And I don't know. I know it's a very frustrating loss for them, but like, you have to be an adult. You have to win, yeah, hey, I know y'all been like one of the winningest programs of this century, but at the same point, like, you have got to be under control and professional at least. I mean, it's part of the sport. It's hurting.
When you're on the sideline of a college football program and you turn around and flip off the band when you score a touchdown, stuff like that.
Well, what happens in Arkansas stays in Arkansas, right? What happens in Jonesboro, Arkansas stays in Arkansas. But I mean, like, and that's something too. Like, I think that's something you have to learn is, and I would have assumed by a senior year he would have learned that, but to each his own. What are you going to do? So just
Still
real
young kids.
Yeah, I mean, what are you going to do with these kids?
These ninth year seniors that are nearly 30.
I gotta get up in the morning. That's probably what he's mad about. He's like, I gotta go to work tomorrow. This is bull. Come on, Jerry. I told you I needed to call out.
Kids are on fall break.
I know, right? Gosh, these stinking fall break
Figure out
kids.
how to go to practice and watch the kids.
Yes. So I guess this week, it's kind of weird for us because we're going to be kicking off Conference USA play for Western. I mean, technically, we kicked it off a few weeks ago when we played middle. Still feels weird that we've already played middle, but we got UTEP this week, Sam Houston, Kennesaw State, New Mexico State, Louisiana Tech, and Liberty and Jack State to finish it out. So the Towel Rack is going to be releasing an article, probably today as this video is played for our non-patrons, tomorrow for our patrons because you all get it early. But they're going to do an article. We're doing an article where we talk about the state of Conference USA and how we forecast Western to finish and how we think, maybe the top 2 or 3 or whatever that is. or however Matt wants to do it. So,
Yeah, clearly my instructions were very clear.
yes. I've been completely paying attention the entire time and not doodling on my notepad. But just at least from my opinion, like how I believe the Conference USA is going to finish out. I think that let me check something real quick. I'm thinking that Liberty is going to lose at least one game. They've got Sam Houston. They've got us and Sam Houston as the last two games of the season. Sam Houston is going to be their game on Thanksgiving week-ish. I'm assuming that's Thanksgiving week.
It could be really interesting.
Yeah, and so we're going to be the week before, so that could make things very interesting.
Is it at Liberty or is it at Sam Houston?
We are at Liberty, and Sam Houston, they are playing at Sam Houston. So
interesting. Wow.
If I'm thinking, just me talking, I'm going to say that Western will lose to either Sam Houston or to Liberty, but not to both. I'm going to say, and then I think Liberty or Sam Houston will lose to one or the other, but not both.
So they're basically going to split 1-1, and
so we're going to split. We're all going to split between the three.
Toss.
Yeah, so it's going to be
in the middle of Alabama to determine who goes to the championship.
Basically, yeah, which can make things interesting and exciting for Western fans. So that's going to be my little snippet of my piece of the article, that Western, Liberty, and Sam are going to be basically vying, and whoever has the best record at the end of the season is going to go. We're going to go dancing. I don't think Liberty is going to go to a New Year's Six Bowl like they did last year.
Neither.
They're 4-0 right now. They're looking really pretty, but I don't think it's going to last.
Yeah, well, and they did have one game that was canceled, the Appalachian State game. That's why they haven't played, and that's why they've only played 4 games. And first of all, pray for North Carolina, pray for Florida again. They're about to get slammed.
Yeah.
Anyway, by the way, anything that we can do to help, any news that we can share for people, GoFundMe's, whatever, that are legitimate.
Let us know, and we'll spread those around.
But yeah, so that's part of why they don't have another game on their record to see how good they possibly could have been.
Yeah,
but they've definitely not been as good as they really possibly could have been this year again. I mean, you return your quarterback, you return enough at every position, you return 2 superstar running backs, and they just haven't been as good as they were. They're not as sharp. There's kind of not insurrection, but there's like rumors that quarterback and coach are not getting along, and some of that kind of conversation of just like chemistry, ego problems, and stuff like that. And so it's just interesting from afar to kind of see them struggling and then kind of confirm, hey, there's some kind of drama going on. But they're still, I think, kind of the favorite-ish, but they're definitely not superior, in my opinion, to WKU this year. We'll see when it happens. And the game's at Liberty, so that makes it more difficult. But, I mean, it's absolutely on the table for Western to be right there, even with Liberty, and we see how it goes. I agree with you on the Sam thing. I think for those that are like scoffing at us for thinking that Sam Houston could be good, hello, they're 5-1 overall, and they're 2-0 in conference. They're looking quite solid. They did what they're supposed to. They beat UTEP by 20, which is, I mean, if WKU beats UTEP by 3 touchdowns, I think we'll be fine with that. They beat Texas State, who is a really good group of 5, and then they beat New Mexico State by 20. And then they've handled Hawaii. They played UCF and got blown out by them. But they beat Rice, who's been decent this year, much better than they ever seemed to be in Conference USA. I mean, they have not a terribly weak schedule, and they're 5-1 against it. I mean, they're a legit football team, and I kind of figured they could be pretty good. And I really don't see them losing too many more games. They could end up 10-2, 11-1, depending on how things shake out. They do have Liberty and Western, but it's all Conference USA from here. So they absolutely could, for sure, go 6-2 in conference, if not better. So watch out for them.
I will say another one to watch out for, which you might laugh at, but FIU. Did you see where they beat Central Michigan 52-16?
Yeah, and then they came crashing back to earth. But yes,
Yeah, evidently.
I mean but no, it was an impressive. Like they were impressive early in the year. So Conference USA has been kind of interesting. It's kind of settled down into okay, some of these teams really do suck. Like for example, you have
La Tech.
two. Yeah, La Tech is terrible. Who lost to FIU? So yeah, that doesn't tell you anything. If FIU beat La Tech, okay, somebody had to win that one. Jacksonville State's been very disappointing. But they were 1-0 in conference, and they beat who did they beat recently? They beat Kennesaw State. Okay, so Kennesaw State is awful.
Yeah.
They're 0-5. UTEP's 0-5. Middle's 1-4. Who else had one win? There was another one.
I was like FIU, Jacksonville State, and of course
New Mexico
us.
State has one win total. Middle, La Tech, there's 5 teams that have one win or
Okay.
less, combining for 3 combined wins. The bottom half of this the standings basically halfway through the year. Not good.
So, so you're talking about New Mexico State. The only win they have is not a conference win. They played Southeast Missouri and they
Yeah.
won 23-16.
Oh,
They lost by 6 points to Liberty, 30-24.
Yeah.
So
They
that's pretty telling right there too.
They played really well. I watched a lot of that game actually. That's one of the few that I've kind of had the chance that's not Western to actually see some of it. That's kind of where I got some of my opinions on Liberty. They were not firing on all cylinders, and they haven't been all year. But Liberty came back from way down and everything. I mean, New Mexico State played well, and they're going to play well at home. You know, Western plays them at home. They're playing at altitude. You have a big, long flight. It's not easy to get 325-pound men on and off an airplane and into a hotel and all that. Like it wears them out. So,
I mean, if they're not scared of flying, and then you have to give them Dramamine to put them to sleep.
right. Then, yeah, all the emotional draining of, being on a plane for the first time.
You do know I am talking about somebody specific, and I'll tell you after the show who
Yeah,
that was because he was
I think
terrified of flying, and they had to drug him so he could go.
was he a receiver?
Nope,
Okay.
played D line.
D line. Okay, gotcha. I know you've said this, but I was thinking somebody else too. I remember one of the receivers was freaking out too. So, yeah, I didn't.
No. This guy they had to give him like a Dramamine or something so he could go to sleep for the flight. I think it was a quick one too. I think it was like Texas or something. It was like, oh, and he was yeah. Yeah, they had to give him
By the
Dramamine
time
or
he's
something.
done wiping his face, it was in his cheeks. It was over.
Yeah. Have we took off yet? No, dude. We've landed and everybody's off the plane. Get up.
Quit doing drugs.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. All right. So let's talk about UTEP.
Yeah.
At least in my opinion, they are 0-2 and 0-5. And I think at this point in the season, if you're UTEP, you're playing for respect. That's the best way for me to put it. You were playing for respect. You were playing to. I know they've got 7 games left. So technically, they could go to a bowl game if they hit a good streak. They went out. They're going to go 6-5. No, 6-7-5. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Sorry, I miscounted. I missed us for the first time I counted. But yeah,
Thing sucks.
if yeah, math is hard when you got your shoes on. Anyway, so they could go 7-5, and they could technically If they run the table, they could go to a conference or to a bowl game. Do I see that happening? No, I don't see that happening this year for them.
And they have
Got
Tennessee on the schedule, so they're
number 8
beatable.
Tennessee at the end of the season. Yeah, I'm sure they're watching that Arkansas film, going, "We can do this. We can do this, guys."
We got this.
uh, but I mean, the bad thing is the toughest opponent they've got left to play is us, as conceited as that sounds. And then they've got New Mexico State. So I mean, they've got here's the other games they got. They got FIU, La Tech, MTSU, Kennesaw State, of course, not counting Tennessee, and then they got New Mexico State.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, Middle could beat them. FIU could beat them. La Tech could beat them. Kennesaw they should beat, and New Mexico State could go either way. I mean, but hypothetically, MTSU, La Tech, FIU, it could go to UTEP's favor too.
Yeah, and listen, UTEP is not. I mean, obviously they're not very good. They're 0-5, and they've disappointed and all that. They've gotten blown out a few times and whatnot. So, I mean, it's not like I'm advocating for how good they are, but they were supposed to be kind of a middle of the pack Conference USA team. Well, if they win 4 of their last 6 or so, that puts them kind of in the middle of the conference. So they could kind of be as advertised. We haven't seen them in person, or I haven't watched UTEP games or anything. But I mean, they're not a team to just look at and be like, oh, they're 0-5. This is a done deal. They have some talent. They have some ability. So certainly, hopefully, WKU is not coming in completely disrespecting them, because it is. They're going to be desperate, like you said. They could still go to a bowl game, and I guarantee you, like when we were 0-6 during that 26 game losing streak, I swear to you, the conversation was, man, if we could just get this one game, we're going to get on a roll. The floodgates are going to open and whatever. So it's dangerous because they're going to be in desperation mode, and if they get a little confidence, they're good enough football players that they can do something. They have competent coaches and all that kind of stuff. If they get a little bit of momentum, don't write them off. Don't feel like it's a done deal. You cannot get complacent.
I agree. I agree with that. It's just like you said, like when we were in that losing streak back in the early 2000s. I think you were right. I think it was one of those, if we get this win, then we might be able to build off this win and get another one.
Mm-hmm.
And I know towards the end of Elson's career, it turned into, I mean, I remember that like Thanksgiving week. I don't know if you remember this or not, but it was just kind of like an F it moment, and everybody's just like,
do it for
who cares? Yeah, do it for Dave. Yeah, but it was. I just remember it being like, I mean,
I don't think we should say this, but whatever. I don't really care. What difference does it make as an old actor? You remember they put Ransdell's face on the
on the tackling dummy?
Yeah, I was trying to think what to call him, because we used to call him something else. Do you remember what I'm referring to?
No, but it's all good.
Okay, I'll just say it. The big dicks.
Yep. There you go. Yep. I remember those now.
But anyway, they taped his face on that, and then all the coaches just went and murdered the tackling dummies.
Statute of limitations, buddy. What are they going to do? I don't think any coach is still there now.
No, I mean, it was Ransdell, it was Wood Selig.
Oh my God, Wood Selig
and Elson's staff. Like, there's no one there now.
I mean, this may sound like horrible, but if they put Wood Selig's kids' pictures on one of those, I would have tackled it and jumped up and kicked the shit out of it. You don't remember this because you weren't there, but when we would go on bus trips, dude.
Told me in private. We bring it up.
We would go on bus trips. Well, you go on bus trips, like they'd pop somebody, hey, you got a movie? Yeah, I got The Hangover, and you'd be like, sweet, pop it in, and they pop it in, and everybody'd watch it, or you play, you do whatever, listen to music, whatever. But like when Selig's kids would come on, you'd be like, They'd be like, "Hey, I got a movie," and be like, "I got The Hangover," and they're like, "Oh, can't watch that. The ceilings, the AD's kids are on the bus," and you're like, "Wow." And then they just do whatever. I think
Yeah.
were you the one that was telling me that the time of them throwing a football on the sideline and it went on the field?
Geez,
I,
I don't know about Selig's kids.
I remember somebody's kids did that. One of the kids did that, and it was just like, it's like, dude, get your kids. I don't care who they are.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I think you could definitely have the silver spoon syndrome going on with the AD's kids or any of those like admin people or whatever.
They're gonna go to jail for some kind of federal financial crime someday.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw your face. You were like, what is he gonna say?
Okay, yeah.
I could see them being like stockbrokers, and they're like, and you're just. But anyway, I don't have any contempt towards children. They're adults now, so I guess it's fine. But anyway, talking about UTEP, they're they're a hard team to put something on, but this is a good game for us to go off. This is an EKU. This is an MTSU game. If we're doing everything right, this could be a very optimizing game for Western. Not necessarily a practice, but it is. We want to get in there and get stuff ready to go so that whenever we do play the Sam Houston's, the Liberties, we're ready to roll and we're firing at all cylinders. I do have us favored 88.5% to UTEP. Let's see what the numbers. Let's see what Vegas. Oh, I don't have Vegas numbers yet. Oh, yeah, I do. Sorry. Vegas has the spread at 19.5. Total points 58.5. They're giving UTEP plus 800. And then obviously they're giving Western a minus 1,400. So you'd have to bet 1,400 to make 100. So not a good bet for you if you're betting Western.
Yeah.
But at least for the money line.
You bet a million, you get like 60K
Yeah.
in earnings. So put that up there, Tops.
Who was that guy? I don't know if you remember it or not. Was he the one that was the big mattress king that used to bet on all the games? And he always bet Alabama or something. Maybe it wasn't Alabama, but it was somebody. He would always put money on them no matter what. He always put money on them. He'd make $1 million bet no matter what the money line was. So if they win, he'd still lose money. But it was the point of the bet. It was just like horrible. Like, this is a great business decision here. Come on now. So go ahead.
So, I mean, kind of breaking down UTEP a little bit on some of their stats and stuff like that. Obviously, they're 0-5, so some of these numbers can be skewed, and you play one opponent that shuts you out, it really drives down the numbers and whatever. But anyway, scoring about 15 or 16 points a game. One thing that kind of stands out for them, less than 100 yards a game rushing, 235 or so yards passing, a little over 300 yards a game total. Then they give up a whole bunch of rushing yards, like 239 yards a game. Their passing defense is seemingly decent. They're keeping it under 200. So it could be something that, if that's not just an anomaly, I haven't broken down really much of anything on the statistics, but I mean, if they could hold WKU under 300 yards passing, or kind of keep that close-ish, that gives them a shot to maybe hang around. Velkamp hasn't really had a game that he's gone off other than MTSU. So, and he's got the turnover issues. So, if Western's offense has a little bit of trouble against what seems like could be a decent secondary, maybe UTEP could make a game of it. So I would watch for, their passing defense. If they can slow WKU down, they could give themselves a chance to hang around and, see what happens late in the game. I think they're decent on third down defensively. WKU's third down defense is atrocious this year. They've not been able to get off the field. I was looking back and looked at the stats on Boston College, and we still gave up about 50% third downs. So it's just been kind of a consistent issue for the defense. Even when they do play well, they hold them down. Definitely something to watch out. If they can't get off the field, they're going to have troubles.
Completely agree with that. Sorry, I don't know why I'm yawning so much today.
But riveting information.
No, well, I mean, it is. It's
You're
interesting
welcome.
information.
You're welcome.
It's very interesting. I'm not saying it's not.
Don't scar
But
me. I'm fragile.
But I mean, the thing is too, you're talking stats, and there's no games against UTEP there's not multiple games that are going to skew their numbers. At least not. It's not like they played Boston College and Alabama at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Where, you could almost debate that our numbers would be skewed because of that. Well, the biggest game that they have on their schedule is Nebraska. They lost 40-7. Now they've lost every game up to this point. They've lost to Southern Utah, which is an FCS. Lost to Liberty, tough team, give you that. Colorado State, I don't know what. I was like, I don't know what they're doing this year. And then you got Sam Houston.
Decent.
Sam Houston and Liberty are both at the top of the conference this year.
Mm-hmm.
Hypothetically, Sam Houston scored 41 against them. They beat them by 20 points. Liberty only won by 18. Is this a chink in Liberty's armor? Maybe. I don't know. Evidently Liberty didn't go off like they wanted to. Maybe they did. I don't know. Sam Houston kind of threw up the numbers and said, let's see what you got. So like you said, if Veltkamp has an awesome day, the defense has an awesome day. I mean, if we had a game like we did against Toledo with the defense, and have the offense like we did against MTSU or a Toledo or, EKU, any of those, this could be an awesome game to watch. So definitely wouldn't miss it if you can. It will be on ESPNU, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. And it's going to be on Thursday, the 10th this week. So check it out. So Matt, what would you say is your prediction for this game?
So, I mean, I think it's obvious that Western should win. It would be a massive disappointment if they lose, first of all. So whatever we predict, at the end of the day, hopefully it's a win, and hopefully it's an impressive win. We'll take a W at this point. I'm good with checking it off the list and going to the next one. That being said, I think Liberty. I think UTEP is going to struggle to score. I think as long as Western can put some points on the board, good luck to them putting up enough offense. I think the Western defense has really come along and is clicking into place. So I kind of see a blowout. Like I said, the only way that I could see it being close is if their pass defense can kind of slow us down some and keep some points off the board, keep the big plays down. But we'll see there. I'm going to go ahead and call a pretty big blowout. I'm going to say 48-14 WKU.
The reason I chuckle is because I had just written it down when you started talking, and I wrote 42-14.
Okay. Yeah. So we're kind of on the same page.
Yeah. So we're actually in the same area there. I think it's kind of like you said. I think this is going to be a good game for Western for especially Veltkamp. And get our receivers, running backs, everybody kind of getting in sync. Let's just let the horses run. Let's go. Let the defense play and just have a fun time playing ball against a team that's, they're struggling, but at the same point, you can capitalize. This is like playing in the backyard against your sibling who's younger. You can definitely run up and down the field on them. Now I say that, but at the same point, you can't overlook them. You've got to play to your potential. You play your best ball, we win this game easy. If you play not to lose, if you overthrow, you underthrow, you have goofball moments, This game could be tough. This could be a close game. This is not a team to overlook. At least that's my opinion. So check back. Let me give you updates real quick on some of the things that are going along. My daughter left me a note. Hold on. And then
You want to read that one or no?
well, I could show you my note she left me. She broke into my room at one point, and she left me a note.
Oh,
It has no coherent letters. It just has a nice little doodle. So the next event, thank you. The next event is going to be on the 25th. It's going to be WKU baseball versus Tennessee, First Horizon Park in Nashville, 6 p.m. Central Time. Okay. Next event is the charity event for basketball. WKU WKU UAB, and that is going to be for the Harold Juanita Kuhn Teen Center for the Boys and Girls Club of Bowling Green. That's going to be at 2 p.m. Sunday, Central Standard Time there, and then of course we got the game on Thursday the 10th, and that is at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. So definitely check that out. It's on ESPNU. Last thing I wanted to say was Matt brought it up a minute ago, and I completely goofed on it. But our thoughts and prayers go out to the victims of the flood. We're thinking about you all. I know they are really struggling. If there is a way to support them or for us to spread support for them, let us know. We'll be glad to forward on any GoFundMe's, anything, send stuff here, yada, yada, yada. We'll be glad to try and spread that because they're struggling. They really are. And it's frustrating to see the plight that these people are going through because it wasn't even a thing that they were warned of. They were told they were going to get a couple inches of rain. And some of them ended up with 24 inches, 30 inches of rain. And it just literally washed mountains, like hillsides, houses gone. And for me, it sounds bad, but I've been thinking about it myself. Like if a flood happened in my area, like what would I do? So, I can't imagine what they're going through. So like I said, our thoughts and prayers go out to them. Please, 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 if you want to send it to our Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, whatever, we will be glad to forward on any kind of charitable organization that's helping in that area. But yes, we are thinking of you, North Carolina, Tennessee, Georgia, Virginia, any of those people in the Appalachians that are suffering, just let us know. Check back next week. We'll be doing our normal time next week. And as always, guys. What?
Sorry, man. You brought up something I'm kind of heart's stirred up or whatever. Florida as well. My sister's down there in like Bradenton area, and they're trying to figure out. It's projecting as maybe a Cat 4 or 5 type hurricane, and it's about to come through after they just got tore up. Anyway, like they have several islands that were just like totally wiped out and covered in sand, and now they're coming back in saying that there's going to be another one. So if you're listening and you're anywhere in these areas, or if you ever have some kind of emergency warning, take the thing seriously and don't just assume that it's just going to be okay this time. You never know, and you got to be using your brain and be prepared. So hopefully that one person hears this and we take it a little more seriously, because you just don't want to play with your life.
Yeah, don't be the Florida man. Be smart.
Yeah, exactly.
But like I said, check back. Let us know on any charitable things that we can spread. We'll be glad to kind of push those words out there to the Towel Rack audience, to the RedOUT audience. We appreciate y'all's support. As always, thanks to our patrons and any of those who subscribe to Towel Rack. But as always, guys, go Tops.
Go Tops.